Kia ora te ro. Welcome whanau to the War on News, your weekly sacred council looking assault on current affairs, beamed live from the Palatial Stratus news bunker, buried deep beneath the heart of the Greyland Republic. If this show was North Korea, it would break into a 50,000 person highly synchronized dance routine funeral, followed by mass suicide of all widows and state sector workers over 60. Ridiculously grim. In tonight's political media crimes against reason kill zone, Paula Bennett winning Waitakere back is like being given a wrapped empty iPad 2 box for Christmas. Government rushed to flog off state assets with all the ideological zeal of Karl Marx on meth. Kim Jong-il is dead. Good riddance to a crazy little psychopathic muppet. Plus this week's Wanko the Week award. Leading the War on News this week, brothers and sisters, what's this? It's a Labour Party reshuffle. Cunliffe gets punished for being Cunliffe, David Parker gets rewarded for setting Cunliffe up, and Jacinda Ardern and Grant Robinson are promoted for not being David Cunliffe. It's a brand new cabinet and includes everyone's favourite rogue, Shane Jones. Shane Jones humbly described himself once in Parliament as one of the greatest orators of the late 20th century. Shane Jones refers to Shane Jones in the third person so often he's become three-dimensional. Shane Jones is very Shane Jones about being so Shane Jones. Shane Jones. Meanwhile, the Chinese government have refuted claims this week that they tortured and killed an activist who was protesting against corrupt Communist Party land confiscations. The Chinese government said the activist died in police custody from, and I quote, natural causes. Which only works if you define natural causes as being beaten to death. Torture caused him to die. Naturally. To the headlines, whanau, Paula Bennett winning Waitakere back is like being given a wrapped empty iPad 2 box for Christmas. In the wacky world of laws that deal with politics, the focus is on a result rather than picking who wins. And in the bowel ends of such law is something called an election petition. It costs $50,000, but it would allow Carmel Sepuloni to challenge Paula's majority in a way a simple recount can't. And if Paula loses that, then she loses the seat legally, not proportionately. That means Labour would gain an electorate seat and hold on to a list seat, with National losing one without gaining from the list, meaning National would not have a majority to pass legislation without the help of the Māori Party, meaning no state asset sales. Oh, the hilarity that would cause. To the headlines, whanau, government rushed to flog off state assets with all the ideological zeal of Karl Marx on meth. Hilariously, the only New Zealanders who can afford to buy the shares in the assets John cares about to sell are the same top 10% he gave $2 billion in tax cuts to for the last 3 years. Adding insult to that injury is the fact that the tax cut John Key gave the top 10% was borrowed and subsidised for by the rest of us through increasing GST. Effectively, we just paid and borrowed for rich people to buy assets we already owned. How desperate as a nation are we for a vision when we accept aspiration this vacant? Sleepy hobbits, they reap what they sow. To the headlines, whanau, Kim Jong-il is dead. Good riddance to a crazy little psychopathic muppet. Of all the crazy shit the circus freak vomited upon his own people, from claiming double rainbows and the birth of a new star on the day he was born, to his claim that his fashion sense was described as the pinnacle of sartorial expression, Kim Jong-il and the Chinese government that kept him funded should have faced a war crimes trial for the mass suffering they've inspired upon the people of North Korea. But while we are putting that regime on trial for crimes against humanity, how about America declaring the war was over in Iraq this week at a cost of over $3 trillion, tens of thousands of allied casualties, and anywhere as many as 1 million Iraqi civilians dead. Who exactly won, and where are all those weapons of mass destruction that supposedly justified this war crime dressed up as war on terror? When the West can get away with unjust wars of aggression that cost trillions and kill millions, we have no moral authority to wag our finger at despots propped up by China. Now let's finish the show by handing out this week's Wanko of the Week award. This week's Wank of the Week, brothers and sisters, has to go to New Zealand Herald columnist Jim Hopkins and his latest claim this week that climate change is not happening due to human pollution. Only in the South Island does wearing red-rimmed glasses equate to wit, and Jim Hopkins is the type of wit that you aggressively amputate at the neck. He carries on a fine tradition of Herald climate deniers like Garth George, who infamously reasoned that the world would not be flooded due to global warming because God showed Noah a rainbow, and that is his promise to mankind. Yeah, far be it for me to doubt the word of a deity, but global warming due to man-made pollution is causing climate change far more rapidly than at any other time on Earth. The big oil-funded climate denial roadshow is simply an attempt to muddy the science so as to give people enough doubt to excuse themselves from the solutions. Jim Hopkins is to reason debate what Kim Kardashian is to the sanctity of marriage. That's it for tonight, folks. Don't forget to follow me on my Citizen Bomber Twitter and Facebook site. It has all the shows posted up online and allows you to befriend other like-minded citizens for romantic news moments. Tune in next week when we have the final War on News Awards 2011. Good night, New Zealand. You stay classy, Aotearoa. Righto.